Gotcha.
For example, if your chute doesn't open, you have 9 seconds left to wake up and be like, fuck, I got to open my reserve.
What happens if it opens and you pull your reserve and they both open?
So that won't work because the air is already.
You need that air to pull it out.
Yeah, if you pull it,
if you're going too slow, it won't come out.
It won't come out.
It'll just be like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it'll be like an 80-year-old person coming.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You'll get nothing. Yeah.
Yo, welcome back to the Immigrant Section. Wherever you're listening, smash that subscribe, follow, hit it with 5 stars. And if you don't, you might be racist, all right? I'm just saying. Yo, with me today in the basement is my boy, Lior Cabessa. What are you saying, dog?
What's up, Abbas? How are you?
How are you, man? Let me just say first and foremost, episode 85, the first of all guests to bring the man a fucking gift, man.
Yeah, comics. Learn some shit from that, man. Bring your host something, all right? Bring the guy something. Come on.
Dude, destroying stereotypes too, you know what I mean? The most charitable dude out of he brought me something. And he brought me, what's it called again? Proper 12.
Yeah, Proper 12.
Proper 12 whiskey. Fucking Conor McGregor's brand, huh?
Conor McGregor.
Thank you, homie. I appreciate that,
You're
man.
welcome.
I don't remember the last time I even got a gift.
Listen, man, you're going to have someone, if you're going to be on someone's podcast, bring something. Bring a beer, bring anything. Don't matter. You know, it's like, take some that serve money. It's like $30-$40. Take it and just bring someone something. It's a nice thing to do. I don't know. It's like,
people don't give shit, man. People couldn't care less.
We all get that amount of money.
But I appreciate you coming here, man.
For sure. But really, I got to tell you something. Like, I got to...
Please do.
I really feel like as a comic, right? Like, you're like the Johnny Carson of Toronto comedy podcast, you know what I mean?
You think?
Yeah, and I'm like, bro, you had some like legit comics in here. I'm like, yo, hold on a second, this guy's gonna have me on.
Hell yeah, man.
It's like you know, the draft parties and the NBA players, they have their families. And I got my family out there. I'm like, hold on a second, I'm gonna be on Abbas' podcast.
Dude, his brothers are in the car waiting right now, listening on a live feed. This isn't even live. They're just sitting there.
I finally made it. That's it. That's it. That's all. If this is as far as I go as a comic, I'm happy.
Nah, bro. You've been in the open mics, the trenches with me.
Man.
You're posting shit. You got content going up. You're doing all the hustles. Of course, I'm gonna welcome you to the Immigrant Section, my friend. And you are full-fledged. They say, you know, full-fledged immigrant, dog. Mm-hmm. We were talking right before this. You were 10 years in the Israeli army.
No. I lived in Israel for 10 years. I was in the army for 3 years.
And 2 is required, right?
No. 2.
Isn't girls, 2 required?
Girls do 2 years.
And guys have to do 3?
3 years, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, 3 years in the army, 8 years in Israel. 8 years in Israel, not 10. I was 8 years. I was there from 2004 to 2012.
Wait, you were born here, right?
I was born in Montreal.
Okay, Montreal.
I'm a Quebecois, you know.
Oh, this guy's got the best impressions too. You're
you know, this is my impression of George St. Pierre. You know that George St. Pierre. I don't know. I became a fighter because they got bullied in school, but other than that, you know, it doesn't matter. But
everything goes to the 5th round with George St. Pierre. It's always a decision. There's never a knockout.
Man, that's the most classiest fight I've ever seen. I love George St. Pierre.
He fucked his eye up though, didn't he?
When?
Bro, years back, he got his eye all fucked up. That's why he wasn't fighting for a minute. You don't really love him at all.
Jimi Hendrix or whatever? What was the guy's name?
No, George St. Pierre.
No, I know. With the fight.
Oh, no, I don't. I couldn't even remember.
Retired?
It was years back. I don't even remember one. But anyways, fuck George St. Pierre, man.
Yeah.
Yo, tell me about that, yo.
Like, fuck, we're not talking about fighting. We got to talk about other shit.
Because, you know, I was in the reserves, which is like the loosely military shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I heard about
boot camp is boot camp.
Yeah.
So that's the same shit that all of the people do.
Yeah.
But as far as what my duties were, it was not at all like anything in like your traditional military capacity. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I hear you.
So what did you do for three years? You were
so 3 years in the army. So first of all,
how old were you?
Sorry,
how old were you when you went?
19 to 22.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I got to Israel, right, I got there when I was like 14, right, and then I was like 18. They sent me a letter in the mail. They're like, you got to do the army. I'm like, fuck out of here! I'm doing the army. I ain't doing no fucking army. You stupid or what?
You thought it was jury duty? You tossed it?
Yeah, like get the fuck out of here! I'm doing a stupid army. You're 18, right? You just started fucking. You started getting some pussy. You're like, I gotta do the army now. I gotta get fucked. What the hell's going on here? No, I'm doing the fucking. Don't.
I'm gonna get to third base tomorrow.
Yeah.
Fuck the trenches.
Yeah, exactly. I just got my first piece of pussy around 17, right?
Yeah.
16, whatever, right? Like fucking. Nah. So they sent me a letter, and I was like, nah, I don't want to do the army. So then I turned 19, and then I had to do the army. So they're like, okay. So or you got to claim to be like crazy, right? You gotta go in and like tell them that like you have nightmares. You just gotta make up.
Yeah.
You can do that. You can come in with
one leg's too short, one leg's too long, some shit.
100%. I had a friend that came in with a cat, and
he came in. He's like, I'm here for the applicant.
Yeah, he did shit like that. He's like,
all right.
He came in. He literally legit came in with a cat, with a kitten, and was just like petting it.
And they're like, okay.
And they're like, okay, you're free to go, right? So I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna cower away from it. So I'm like, you know what? If I'm gonna do the army, I'll do it right? So I was signing up for all these special units, and I didn't know anything about the army. I didn't know anything about anything. So there's this unit that's it's like I don't know how to say it in English. They're kind of like undercover. They go into like this sounds wrong because you're Muslim, right?
Yeah,
they dress up like Muslims, right?
Yeah, okay.
And they go in and they catch
to train you.
They train you, yeah. So they have the beard and everything. They speak Arabic, everything. They know everything. So they're like undercover and they live in the Arab areas and no one knows that they're actually IDF, right? So they're legit like
they're undercover.
They're like spies.
Man, fuck
right?
those people, man. Fuck those people. Yeah, okay. So you were that?
No. So I signed up to do that, and then like bro, you cannot. You cannot dress up like you don't look like. Yeah. But then they have different parts of that unit, but you got to speak Arabic and all that. But so I did training. I did a like I don't want to say it's like a test kind of. It's not like a test. It's like a physical test, right? So you do that, and they were like, nah, you're not good enough. So I'm like, okay, cool. So then I went
like aptitude testing.
But that doesn't have anything to do with like. So I didn't get in, right?
Gotcha.
So you got to get into one unit to get into another unit to get into another unit.
Okay, it's just, connected like fucking
connected
snakes
like
and ladders.
Yeah. So then then they asked me, okay, where do you want to go? So there's these 2 units. So I got into those units, and the first day you get in, and they're like, okay, you're gonna try out for the special, because every unit has a special unit, right?
Okay, yeah.
So I went. So you start out 500 soldiers. Everyone goes out. Okay, they split you up into groups of like 50 people. I'm telling all the fucking Israeli secrets right now. You're like,
imagine.
Let me write this down, Habibi. This is going right to ISIS. 1-800-ISIS. I'm going to tell them everything. This is why I get you on the podcast.
The Palestinians are paying attention. 50
like, let
breaking
me write
in.
down. Okay, and they do the training where?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. So they split you up in groups of like 50, whatever, and then it's a 4-day. You don't know how long it is. You don't know what's going on. They don't tell you anything. You know I don't know if you know how it is, but like they don't tell you shit, right? So you start out, you're 50 in your group, whatever, something like that, and then they just try to break you. You're in the desert. They're like, okay, run, and keep running. Okay, now stop. Okay, now go to sleep. Then as soon as you fall asleep, they'll wake you up.
Yeah,
Get
yeah,
up.
yeah.
And you don't know when you're gonna
Sleep
eat.
deprivation, fucked up shit,
You don't
tactics.
know, you don't know nothing. They take the fattest guy, they put him on a stretcher. You're gonna go for 3 kilometers right now in the sand and everything. You don't know. You have your vest, everything. You don't know when you no shower, no nothing for 4 or 5 days. And people keep dropping like flies because they try to make you quit. They're like, hey, come on, you don't need to be in this unit. What do you want to be in here for?
Oh, actually, yeah.
So there's one guy that doesn't. There's 3 guys that don't talk at all. They just sit there, write shit down. They're just like watching you, and they look for
Weakness?
No, they look for They don't care if you're weak. They look for people that are not selfish. If you're selfish,
you're a team player.
Yeah, you have to be a team player. If you're selfish, you're out. You're not
Oh yeah, man, and that's the thing about that boot camp. If one person fucks up, they punish the entire.
Everyone. Yeah.
So no one can fuck. If you fuck up, your own people will fuck with
exactly.
you. Like, get your fucking. We had a guy who we'd be like rank outside. Everyone in rank in 120 seconds, 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Everyone in rank. We had this fat dude who could never fucking lace his.
Like, oh, come on, man.
Everyone would run into his room, fucking tie his shit. You know what I mean? Get the fuck up. His name was Doyle. One time the Master Coppola yelled at him so much he just started crying. And then the Master Coppola was like, Jesus Christ, clean yourself up. Like, they don't want to see men cry. Like, Jesus, man. And he just walked away.
Oh man, no, for sure.
So they're looking for team players, and
they're writing shit down, and they try to break you. So basically, we finished like 12 of us out of 50. Everyone dropped off, and they bring buses there, like in the middle. They're like, hey, just get on the bus,
PlayStation on the bus, go.
Yeah. It's kind of like comedy, like, hey,
hummus on the bus, go.
They actually bribe you with chocolate milk. Because in Israel they have this thing. It's called the shoko b'sakit. It's like everyone has it. Even the fucking president will drink it. It's like chocolate milk in a bag. So you bite it open and you and you put it. You just spritz
Like,
it in.
you want chocolate basic?
and they're like, hey, you want? And you're like,
And you haven't seen one in weeks, right? Yeah.
No, that's like whatever. So try to break you. Then once you're done with that, we finish like 12, and then you have an interview and ask you why you want to be here. And if you say some shit like, I want to kill Arabs, they're like, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
So a lot of
Were there guys like that though?
there's some crazy
Like
people that join the
hardcore
army.
Israelis?
No,
Or
it's
like,
not even. It's not even that. The hardcore Israelis don't ever like. I never once, and I ended up getting into that unit. So I got into the special unit, right?
The Krav Maga unit?
Yeah, so I got into that unit, and the first couple days, I'm like, yeah, whatever. I got into the special unit. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Because everyone, when you get in, they're like, yeah, you guys are special. I'm like, what kind of special? You mean like with the small bus with the helmet?
Yeah,
Because I got a helmet and I'm on the bus. So which kind of special is this shit, right? So then eventually I realized, okay, I am in the special unit. Like I'm in the special forces, whatever. But no, there's never any talk of like hate or anything towards Arabs or Muslim or anything. There's always respect. Now, even if you arrest someone, you're supposed to do it in a respectful way. You're not supposed to treat them like, cause you could be a total dick. You can literally like beat the shit out of someone. No one would know. You're in the middle of the desert, right? And we never did that. If someone had to be arrested, they got arrested. If someone needs to be dealt with, but it was never any hate. We just did our job and that's it. This is our mission. This is our job.
You're soldiers, yeah.
Yeah, that's
soldiers.
it. And if you come into that with like that's why they try to pick the best people for that. And that's why in America too, they should pick like do screening.
Well, the Marines, they do the same thing.
No, I'm saying for cops and shit, they should do better screening. Where
Oh, absolutely.
In there. Like you should be doing your job. It doesn't matter if they're black, white, Muslim, pink, black. It doesn't matter if they're. It doesn't matter what they are. You should be straight the same with everyone, right? And
exercising like proper professional discretion.
Yeah.
Acting in like a correct ethical way when no one is looking, which is the problem in the States, right?
I had an officer one time that I think we arrested someone, and he was so nice, my officer, and this guy was in handcuffs, and I think he wanted to peel an apple or something, or cut an apple, because he wanted to eat, and he was gonna give him his knife. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? You giving him his knife? He's under arrest. You giving him a knife? But he was actually so like he was treating him like a normal human being.
Yeah,
like,
but because he has a gun. He's like, what's this guy with the knife gonna
but
do?
at the same time, but like you don't hand someone, we never know what they're gonna do, right? But he was actually being so genuine with the guy. He was like, but no, we always try to treat people, we always did treat people with respect. There was never the disrespect. There was never like beating people up for nothing. Do things like that happen? For sure. Are there asshole soldiers? For sure. Is there, but in the unit that I was in, we're very respectful and very, and in general, the IDF is very contrary to what you can.
IDF stands for what?
Israel Defense Force.
Defense Force. Nice.
So
is it all pretty much like all of the action? I don't even want to say with the word action, but all of the conflicts, all of the strife, all of your day to day, is it with Palestinians, or is it like with other Israeli people? No, what is like
for the most part, yeah, it's but I mean this conflict has been going on forever, right?
No, I know that, but I'm just saying like the IDF, is it like
for the most part? But the thing is, we have troops in the north that's more for Lebanon. We have in the south, which is for Gaza Strip. We have and then we have Jordan. You have like all these different countries that are around
divisions,
so, So, but it's been, thank God, when I was in, there wasn't a lot of action going on. But right before I got in, there was war, and right when I left, there was war. In the 3 years that I was in, there wasn't a lot going on. Thank God. Yeah. So,
do they teach you Krav Maga?
Yeah, but like they don't teach you that much because you're not going to be doing a lot of hand
to hand.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of shooting. We did a lot of shooting. We'll do something 1,000 bullets a day. Sometimes we do a lot.
1,000 in a day. Wow.
We do a lot of shooting. We do like hours of shooting.
M16 or what rifle?
I had a gun called a Tavor. It's an Israeli gun. Yeah. It's shorter and it doesn't jam as quick.
Yeah.
So it's made more for like desert and sand and stuff. So if you get sand in it, whatever. It's different than M16. I've used the M16 a couple times, but like not really. But like at Tavor, it's different. And we were the special unit, so we got.
Is it like an MP5?
I don't know guns that well. I only know like.
I'm going off of Call of Duty knowledge.
Yeah, I know.
The M16 I'm trained and I shot with.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. Same thing. M16 minimal recoil. Yeah. Very reliable. Doesn't jam. Yeah. The AK-47 is supposed to be the ultimate reliability. Never you can drive it over a tank. They say.
Yeah. No. AK-47.
Drive a tank over it. Obviously.
AK-47 is one of the best guns.
Have you ever shot it? I've never shot an AK.
No. I think the only reason why they don't use it is because of ego. They're like.
And the recoil. It's retarded for specialized, accurate missions and like things that are being done. newer guns are way better. Fucking AKs like it's just recoil galore, you know?
Yeah, because when you shoot at him, I don't know if it shoots.
I don't know if it shoots burst. It might burst
only
3.
automatic. I think.
Oh really?
I think it only shoots automatic.
The
But also, there's
M16's got
7.72. If you get hit by that, you're fucked. It's
7.72. That's the bullet.
Yeah.
Wow, 7.72.
Yeah, and the regular are 5.56.
God damn. Okay.
Yeah. So
I don't even know bullet nomenclature.
but
Well, I forgot what we even use. But yeah, standard ammunition for the M16.
But yeah, no. So Israelis, they have their own gun, but they use M16 too. But they also use the AK in like the SEALs use the AK. They use all kinds of guns. They use everything. But like that's good for like being in water and sand and all that. It never jams, right? So they use that too. So yeah. But Army was a really good experience. It taught me a lot, and that's what actually got me into like believing, I can do this comedy shit, right? And I remember I was once at Yucks. I won't forget. I don't remember which comic it was.
Yucks, Toronto.
Yeah,
Comedy
Yucks.
Club.
Yeah, I was there. And I'm about to go on, and I tell this comic, he's like, hey, he was talking, he was like a veteran comic. I don't remember his name, but I'll never forget his face. I know this guy's face. And I was like, he's like, you're a comic? I'm like, yeah. He's like, and he was, I don't know how we got into like, it wasn't really a conversation. It was like a minute like interaction. And he's like, I'm like, he was kind of was like saying, oh, you sure you're good with this comedy stuff? I'm like, yeah, I was in the Israeli army. He's like, this is harder than the Israeli army. He looked like dead in the eye. He's like, this is harder than the Israeli army, like comedy. I'm like, yeah, fuck you.
Get the fuck out of my face.
So yeah, no, but
it's a harder in a different kind of way.
Oh, yeah,
but
no.
for like general humans, how they gauge difficulty, the army is gonna be harder than
physically.
stand-up.
But
yeah, because it's more of a mental long-term game, right?
Oh yeah. No, now I maybe understand what he said, but at that moment I was like, oh fuck you, man. Like,
I'd rather bomb all day than have to be full fighting force, vest, rifle, helmet in the desert running.
Sometimes I would rather that.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes bombing is not, bro.
Yeah.
Bombing. That's what they call it.
Bro, I've been booed off stage, and I would rather boot off stage again than do boot camp again.
Yeah.
Any day.
Yeah.
Fuck sleep deprivation.
Yeah.
Fuck all this physicality. Shit, run rucksack march 13 kilometers, 70 pounds of shit.
Yeah.
Fuck all that, man. I'd rather get booed off stage again.
But yeah. No, I'm saying something.
Yo, I gotta tell you a story. Yeah. So I grew up in a very Arab community in London, Ontario. A lot of Arabs.
Yeah.
And like all throughout growing up, Jews were always like the butt of jokes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I imagine it's similar in the other way around. Whatever. It's like no pointing fingers. But the point is, it was.
Yeah.
The first Jewish person I ever met was when I was like 18 years old. I was in Toronto I went to Waterloo for school. And I was in Toronto with my buddy JD, and we're walking around, and these two guys come up and they ask for directions. And they're like, we're not from here. We're like, oh, we're not actually from here too. They're like, oh, we're like, where are you from? They're like, oh, we're Israeli.
Yeah.
And bro, I froze. My buddy did the rest of the talking for the whole interaction. I didn't even know what to do, bro. Cause like, yo, honestly, cause like growing up, I almost had this like stupid to say looking back now, but it was almost like the community was so like not liberal in their mindset of like everyone is a human first.
Yeah.
They're like, no, he's Jew, like this.
Yeah.
So I like, you could have convinced me Jewish people had green blood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I believe it.
So when they were like, they're Israeli, I was so conflicted internally, I couldn't even talk anymore. I was just like,
and you got an Israeli on your podcast.
What if someone, exactly. This is like 10 plus years later. You know what I mean? But like, it's so funny how
I understand
you
that
could
for
make
sure.
people like look out like a collective people look like the enemy.
Yeah.
When that's the stupidest mentality ever, because that's what people in the South did 80 years ago to black people.
Yeah.
That's what people did like 50 years ago to gay people. That's what like people are doing right now to like, trans. It's like you can't take an entire group of people and paint them with a single brush being like, they're bad. We are good. You know what I mean? Like, it's fucking stupid. But I'm embarrassed. Now I look back, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe how like I need it. That's someone who needs to travel badly. You know what I mean?
That's what traveling does for you, for sure. No, 100%. No, like, I'll tell you something. Like, for me, I feel like I'm not like that because I had a Canadian mom. right? So you have both your parents are from Sudan, right?
And I was born in Sudan, and then
Hardcore,
I grew
right?
up
You
in a
grew up hardcore
hardcore
Sudan,
Palestinian Lebanese Arab community.
So Israelis that grow up only in Israel, right? They're probably like that too sometimes. Because like they don't know anything. Like this
guy's fucking Arab, man. This guy's fucking
or whatever. Right?
Or whatever. Yeah.
That's why I feel like for me, I'm lucky because I can see both sides of the coin, right? Because I lived in Montreal.
You grew up in Canada.
I literally did my growing up in both because I grew up until 14 and from 14 till 20, which is a big part of your life.
Yeah, but 0 to 14 is a bigger part of your life.
I grew up super Orthodox Jewish. I grew up with the black and white.
Oh, really? The hat and everything? The dreidel?
No TV, no books.
Did you have a dreidel and a Beyblade at the same time?
What?
A dreidel and a Beyblade? Let her rip! You know what I mean? And then a dreidel makes its way in there. Get that out of there.
Oh man, no!
Happy Hanukkah, by the way. When this drops, it's not Hanukkah anymore. But
no. It's okay when it drops. Yeah,
isn't Hanukkah go till the 18th?
Last night of Hanukkah.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's the last night. Yeah,
so it'll come out Tuesday. So
yeah, no man, for sure. Oh yeah, so I grew up like super Orthodox. So I didn't know anything about Arabs. To me, there was Jews and non-Jews. There was no. There was no there was like no. They used to say, oh, he's a goy. Like that's it. There was like he was, or there was no like.
Goy means non-Jew.
Like a Gentile, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't grow up knowing anything.
Yeah.
Nothing. I grew up super, and that's because my mom married into that. So, but my dad originally is not religious. My mom became religious, and now no one is religious. But that's a long story short.
That's funny. But so your dad wasn't religious, and your mom went into the religion. Who took over? Who took over being like? Okay, you're going Orthodox.
So my mom and dad got married, had 2 kids, and got divorced. Like when I was like 2. So my dad went back to Israel. Okay?
Gotcha.
And then my mom remarried, and she became religious with this guy.
A Jewish again.
Jewish. Yeah. They became super religious. They weren't religious, but they were semi-religious. But then they became super like the most like
the highest level.
Like for you guys,
the final level
and everything. Like
the final level.
Yeah. Like burqa and all that. Like for you guys.
But Montreal's a perfect place for that, by the way.
Yeah.
I remember walking through areas in Montreal. It was a whole Jewish area.
Yeah, so
everyone's got the thing.
Yeah, so I
went to a cafe there.
Yeah, so I grew up in that area. I grew up in
super
that
Jewish.
life, right? So there was no he's this and he's that. There was just
Jewish or not.
Yeah, and there's some good benefits to that, as in we good?
Be careful with that. Just don't touch that back thing there. Yeah, keep on.
So there's some good benefits to growing up like that, like not having any TV, not having any.
You had no TV?
No TV, no movies, no.
So
books,
hardcore
nothing.
Jews don't even watch TV?
Nothing, no TV.
Did you read the like
Torah,
Old Testament?
Torah? That's it.
Torah's like the Old Testament.
Torah, yeah. Torah.
Do you have still stuff memorized?
Yeah, for sure. That's why I was gonna get. My podcast is called Hasidish because that's what they're called. They're called Hasidic Jews, right?
Yeah.
They're called Hasidish. So
that's like by the book Jews.
Everything like ultra Orthodox.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Hasidic Jews.
Yeah. So
like you won't pass Friday, you won't go into an elevator. Someone will press the button for you, right?
Or not even. You're not even. If you want someone to do that for you, you gotta hint to them. You gotta be like, hey.
It would be nice if we were going down to the 3rd floor right now.
Exactly.
So wait, explain this. So Fridays or
Friday night,
you can't use any electricity.
Nothing. You can turn on a light. No, so it says.
But I heard that people will keep the light on from Thursday.
Yeah. Or they have timers now. They have it's called a Shabbat because it's Shabbat, right? They call it a Shabbat timer. So Shabbat timer will like
Shabbat's Friday.
Yeah, from sundown to sundown, from Friday night sundown to Saturday night sundown.
That is Shabbat. No electricity.
Nothing.
You're just supposed to be reading the Torah with the family. That's the idea back in the day, right?
Yeah. And it's still and you know what? I try to implement that now where I try on Saturdays, from Friday to Saturday, I really try to not do nothing because really it
resets you, right?
It does. It really does. And sometimes I'm like, man, I got to do it more. I got to get back to it. I got to get back. Not on a religious. The thing is, people think religion. I think people, a lot of times, even with the Muslim world, whatever, a lot of things are forced on them, and they're like, I don't want to do this because you're forcing me. But then when you grow up and like, if it's given to you in a way of, in a way of love.
If you see the benefit of it outside of religion.
Yes.
Perfect example. I grew up having to fast every Ramadan.
Yeah.
30 days Ramadan. You don't eat, you don't drink water from sunrise to sunset.
Yeah.
Right?
In the summer.
It's lunar calendar, so it switches 11 days every year. So I've done it winter, summer, every season.
So
I've done them all.
It
keeps moving.
Okay.
Every year, it's like a third of a month shifted.
Yeah.
I did it so many times. Kid, you know what I mean? Like at lunch, I'd just be there with all my buddies unpacking their shit.
Yeah.
I'd be like at a water fountain, be like, oh, fuck, I forgot, and I can't drink. I hated it. So I did it so many times. And as soon as I could break away and I went to school, like outside, stop fasting Ramadan, right?
Same thing.
I'm like, yo, I'm free now.
Same thing.
But now fast forward like 10 years from there, I'm like looking at Ramadan now. I'm like, man, forget about like religious like affiliation and like religious teachings. I think a month, like sober October, what Rogan does, that's just Ramadan, right? But when you call it,
I never thought of it that way.
when you call Ramadan, it sounds like bombs exploding, right? But when you say sober October, you can get a whole community, right? Sober October is just Ramadan.
Like Ramadan, I don't know. Am I gonna join ISIS? No. Sober October,
so now I'm looking back, I'm like, yo, I'm smoking all the time, I'm drinking all the time. It'd be sick if I took a month, and didn't do all that. Forget about religion, this or that.
100%.
So you're doing you had that same vibe with Shabbat.
I really try hard. First of all, I don't do TikTok, Instagram, or Shabbat at all. But I really, man, I gotta shut down from everything because you just have a clear vision the next week. Like, you know, like we're on especially these days, we're in such a fast-paced life. You know, we're always, especially as comics or whatever, always content. We're writing. We're always doing something, right? We're just trying to, you know, and you need a break. It's just one day, and you know, and actually that's why I go on vacation a lot. I was in Miami 2 weeks ago, and I'm actually going to Miami again.
You look like right now how you are. You look like such a Miami guy. I feel like you bring a suitcase with just white clothing.
Those Miami shirts, like hey, Miami's the shit. You know, but that's the benefit of vacation. Like I really believe you should spend your money on vacation because you come back and you're clear. You have new perspectives a little bit, and it just you know, you just feel, I don't know, you just need a break.
Yeah, man. It just lets you, it makes you excited about the shit you're doing again.
You burn out.
You get jaded. Yeah, you get jaded. You're like, wow, I got to do this. I got to do that.
No, for sure.
I want to know. So you're really good at impressions. When I first saw you at the open mics, you were always doing impression shit. Did you develop that in the army, or did you?
No, not at all. No, I actually I saw Jay Farrow. You know Jay Farrow?
Yeah, of course, Jay Farrow.
I saw Jay Farrow, and he's doing this Jay-Z. I'm like, yep, you know, see boy Hope. Yep. Yeah. Right. So he would do all that shit. I'm like, bro, I gotta get on that, right? He would do Biggie. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? See boy Biggie Smalls. baby, right? Yeah. So I would see that, and I was like, you know, I think you're. Let me get to this. You're born a comic, okay? And then it's kind of like you're born with this thing, this fire inside you. When I would see these comics, I would get like not angry. I would get like jealous, but like excited at the same time. You ever see a good comic? You're like, yo,
you get amped.
Oh, you're like, bro, I gotta,
you
know. And I'm like, and I would see, I'm like, bro, I can do this, right? And then I started doing impressions, and I was always shying away because I was always like, maybe I should be a motivational speaker. And I was like, maybe I should be.
Thank God you didn't, bro. You wouldn't be on this podcast. If it was like, do it.
Yeah.
If you think do it, it's already done.
That's what I'm saying.
Do it.
I didn't want to
you do those videos.
Exactly. I did like 2 videos of that.
Yo, God.
When I make it, I'll put them out. But I did 2 videos like this year. I just want to say it. I sound like Barack Obama. Listen, guys, I love America. Right. So, and then I was like, let me be a humorous speaker. Let me be, you know, I was always like, just fucking stop.
You're trying to figure out what your identity is.
Just be a comic. Stop running from it, right?
Yeah.
I remember the first time I went to comedy club, I was shaking. I was walked in there. I was like, and I was like, because as soon as I walked in to comedy club for the first time, I was like, because you're that scared, that means that this is what you're supposed to do.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And I was so scared. I was like, bro.
You weren't shaking in the first day of boot camp. You weren't shaking. No. We weren't shaking, right?
No. Well, when this is different.
Because you're so afraid to fail because it's in your heart so bad you want to succeed that it terrifies you to fail.
100%. And they even say, like, listen, whenever your brain knows you can achieve something, it will always be like, if you think of becoming an NBA player, you won't get scared now. You won't be like nervous about it because it's not tangible.
Yeah, right?
Exactly. But your mind, when it's tangible, you'll get scared, you'll get nervous.
Yeah.
So that's really right. So
like I got to do this thing right because it's in the cards. Yeah. It's possible. Yeah. So it's really comes down to my own performance rather than it's not possible.
Yeah.
Off.
For sure. So I started doing impressions, right? Just because I was so nervous, and that was like the easy to go to, right? And like, you know how you go to these open mics, you're waiting for 3 hours, and then you have like 2 people waiting for you. And you're like, man, like the material's not gonna be funny. Let me just pull out some impressions. Maybe that will work, right?
Yeah.
So now I was just like doing impressions, and then like that became my thing, and everyone was like, hey, do your impressions. I'm like, hold on a second, I don't want to be the impression guy. Yeah. I want to have some real comedy. I want to do my shit, right? And I was getting a little bit of laughs here and there, whatever. And I'm still definitely open micer. I'm not professional by all means. But then COVID hit, right? And then I was like, I gotta do something, right? Then I was like, you know what, fuck it, because I was always like, I don't do videos. I'm too good for that. You know?
Yeah.
And then you just watch Nima, and you're like, bro, like I gotta. And this guy just sets the bar. Like I have a hate-love relationship with that guy. Like I hate him, but at the same time, I'm like, bro, like let me catch up for a second. What the fuck you doing? Hold on, let us catch up to what the fuck you're doing, man.
If you're not watching Nima Naz on Instagram, you gotta be following the man. One of Toronto's most talented comedians by any means, like, and I mean that like as a whole package content creator.
He don't give a fuck. He's got anything.
I'm wondering, man, this guy, imagine his fucking computer. He's got like 30 fucking 50 videos in advance probably.
Yeah. And you too, don't get me wrong, you're also someone that I'm watching. I'm like, yo, Abbas is fucking doing his thing. He's doing the podcast, he's doing the TikTok, he's doing the this and that. I'm like, bro, like I gotta step my game up, man. And I think that COVID really made people have to step their game up. Like,
you have no choice.
You got it, bro.
Because you got all that creativity oozing out.
You got it, right? So, and also like, and I feel like TikToks are like open mics.
Yeah.
Like, to me, it's like an open mic. To me, doing a video,
because it could bomb.
It could bomb, and it bombs all the time. Like
you see it posted 2 days ago, 0 comments. You're like, that would bomb.
I don't have that many followers. I don't have that many likes, but at the same time, I look at it. I'm like, you know what? I have some videos. I have a lot of likes and this and that. And I'm like, you know what? The first time I got a video with a lot of likes, I'm in the shower, I remember, and I'm like, my mind's like, you got lucky. You can't do that shit again.
Yeah.
Right? It's like when you do well.
Hateful, yeah. Your mind
and I'm like,
hates.
no, man, I can do this shit again. Wait, get the fuck out of here. You fucking with me. Like my brain, right? I'm like, I did it again and again.
Your brain's your own worst enemy, bro.
Yeah.
That could have been a motivational video.
Yeah,
you know
no, for sure.
Your mind's your worst enemy, people.
But you are somewhat of, if you are a good comic, you are somewhat of a motivation. You're changing people's lives, man. If you go to any good comic, you leave there
happier.
Yes. You'll have a different view of the world.
Your credit card debt doesn't seem so bad anymore.
Exactly.
Right? You just laugh for an hour and a half.
100%. You are somewhat of a magician, man. Like, man, sometimes I'll feel down and I'll watch some Sebastian.
Oh, I'm a big fan.
Sebastian Maniscalco.
I have to say that when I first got into the game, I was pretty much doing a Chappelle impersonation.
Yeah.
Like, as far as
I hear you say that all the time, but I've never actually seen that in you because I never seen you try.
That's a compliment.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. In my mind, I sometimes will do a thing and I'm like, ugh, that's
Chappelle,
I'm just literally doing a Chappelle line.
I've seen you do comedy a bunch of times. I've never seen you try to be anyone else. I always saw you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. In my mind, like how we're saying our mind tears us down, it's just tearing me down during the set. I don't hear any joke that does well. I only remember and hear the ones that are not at the level that I'm like, oh,
I know, because you're in with your own self. I know what you mean, 100%. Yeah.
But nowadays, if I had to choose 2 comics that I'm like, that these are the people that I'm not impersonating. I'm embodying. We'll say. You know what I mean? Or emulating rather.
Yeah.
Sebastian and Chappelle.
Yeah.
Because Chappelle teaches you like, yo, there is never a lack of interest for smart comedy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Smart comedy will never. They'll never phase out. And Sebastian teaches you how much laughter you can get without saying a word.
Yeah.
So I want to combine those. 100%. I want smart comedy that's highly physical.
100%.
And that's pretty much the road I want to go down.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I understand what you're saying 100%. And you know what? 6 months ago, I would be like, what the hell is this guy talking about? But because COVID taught me a lot mentally. Like a lot, because you sit with yourself. And even like people think like TikTok, bro, do TikToks, do something, because it really like, it's like an onion that you peel away, that those layers and layers, and like this is
what is the core of what I'm saying here.
Yeah, right? Who am I becoming? Who am I as a comic? What am I, right? And me too in the beginning, like, man, I would do, I'd be Eddie Murphy all the time, man. I'm Eddie Murphy, man, because I grew up on Eddie Murphy, man. Eddie Murphy was like my god. Like Eddie Murphy all day,
even like,
delirious.
Even the heavy hitters say the exact same thing.
Eddie Murphy all day. I would have in the army. I would have a little MP3 player, okay, and we didn't have iPhones back then. Anything. There was no like I think I had some music on there, but I had 2 albums on there. It was Eddie Murphy Delirious or Raw, one of them. I don't remember which one it was, and I had Robin Williams Live on Broadway.
Yeah, okay.
Those 2 I would listen to back to back every day.
Every day?
Yeah, when I go to sleep, that's what I would fall asleep to.
That's fucking awesome.
I would fall because there was no TV, and that would in the army. That's
put a fucking Tupac album on there, bro. Put a Biggie album.
No,
man.
it wasn't because of that.
There was nothing else, man.
No, I would listen to music too, 100%. But I'm saying that's what would would kind of like.
That's where you wanted to hear it again.
It would make me laugh. It would
Because
make
you
me
hear the audience laughing, and it transports you, right?
Yeah, just listening to comedy in general, just like it makes you like you have hard times in the army, but like and then I would go to sleep listening to that, and you just automatically. I feel like the last thing you listen to before you go to bed is how your next day is gonna go. I don't know if that makes sense, but to me that works sometimes.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're priming the pump.
Yeah.
That's what that's what your self-conscious has like to think about into sleep.
Into sleep. Yeah.
And then
it
it all builds into and bubbles in. It's like a stew that's cooking overnight.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I had some bad days the next day too. I'm like, I listened to Eddie Murphy last night. What the fuck happened? But
yeah, right. What happened? That's so funny.
No. For the most part, yeah. Yeah, man. But yeah, no. Sebastian has a really good.
Sebastian's reached that. Man, comedy just makes me excited.
It does.
It just makes me excited.
Yeah, it does. And I really. The only thing is, like, I really hope that. I feel like the whole whatever's going on in the world right now with everyone being offended and triggered and I feel like that is gonna burst. It's a bubble that's about to, and people are like, you know what, fuck this. You don't like the way I talk, get the fuck out of here. You know, kind of thing. We're like, you don't like it, you don't gotta listen.
I think there's gonna be factions. Just how like, you know how like it used to be like politics, liberal or conservative.
Yeah.
And then like you could be liberal and your neighbor's a conservative and you can still hang out.
Yeah.
And slowly but surely the gap between the two increased wider and wider.
100%.
So now if you're a liberal, you're on the far left, and if you're a conservative, you're on the far right.
100%.
I feel like the same thing is going to happen with comedy, where it's like, it's not necessarily going to burst, but there's going to be factions. There's going to be raw, unfiltered comedy.
Oh, I see.
It's going to be like the far right is going to have a huge population of raw Andrew Schultz, Louis C.K. style shit.
Yeah.
And in the far left, it's going to be Hannah Gatsby. More of that shit.
Yeah, no, 100%.
And then there's the gap between is just going to become bigger and bigger. And where hopefully one day it's like, pick a side. What are you? Are you dirty? Are you progressive liberal? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just going to end up being fucking politics again.
Yeah,
you know?
I hear you.
But I do hope it bursts. I think the idea of like this super woke comedy where it's like laughter is of secondary importance. That bullshit's going to get swept aside.
The comedy was made for that. Comedy was made for
word. Don't call it comedy. Call it something else. If the general idea is not for people to be laughing hard, call it something else. Yeah. Call it a one-person show. Call it your one-person show. Whatever you are.
The Mike Tyson one-person show was crazy out there. You know what I'm saying?
Did Tyson do a one-person show?
Man, Tyson had a killer one-person show. Man, it was number one on Broadway. I think he had a one.
It was on Broadway.
It was on Broadway, man.
When?
Mike Tyson is doing his thing. I don't care. Fuck you. We had to talk to your station off.
That Tyson does not give a fuck. And that's why people love him, because he don't give a fuck. He'll say whatever he wants.
Mike Tyson's an amazing soul.
Mike Tyson's. I love Mike Tyson.
That guy's just transcended. He's like a peace. He's at peace.
Man, you saw
Anytime you hear him talk.
Fight Roy Jones?
The fight was whatever. It's 50-year-old men
he
fighting.
He won that fight. I want to see him fight a 30-year-old.
He did win it, but like it's 50-year-old men. They're fighting whatever. It's not what like we would hope it would be. But luckily we had that fucking Nate Robinson. Logan Paul?
I don't know about that, man. I don't know if
that
was set up.
Josh.
I was in
that guy's
Miami
name?
when I watched it. I was watching with a Mexican dude next to me, and he was actually a fighter. He's a Mexican fighter. A guy
he was like, "Care?"
I was like, who? Hey, you know, Mike Tyson win the fight. This is bullshit. It's not real. I said, what about the Logan Paul? And I was like, hey, I think this is set up. It's not a real fight. You know, I don't know.
No, that's just not set up. Why would Nate Robinson agree to get knocked out like that? That knockout, you can't set that.
No,
knockout.
he was saying that it looked like it was fake. I don't know. That's what he was saying.
None of them were fake. None of those things were fake. You know what I mean? But what really got me was Mike Tyson in the press conference or his interview before.
I gotta be scared. You gotta be scared. I ain't fighting
exactly.
years.
Would you say you're nervous? Fuck yeah, I'm nervous. What do you mean? Like it's the interview.
I didn't fight 30 years. What are you talking about?
Yeah, the interviewer was like, "Are you saying you're nervous, Tyson?" Yeah, and it's like new Mike Tyson. He's like, "Yeah, I'm scared as fuck."
You gotta worry about my ass. No, his ass. He fought last year.
Mike Tyson's fucking amazing, man.
I love Mike, bro. Mike's hilarious.
That goes to show you how much anybody can turn. If you can go back to the 90s and be like, that ferocious heavyweight beast is gonna be like a spiritual guru now.
He's still
he's guru mode.
No, now he's not. No, now he's in fight mode.
What he said? Anything I'm scared of, I do. If I'm scared of it, I gotta do it. I don't want to fucking beef you on these impersonations. If it frightens me, it must be done. You know what I mean? But that's what he said in the interview. He's like, whatever scares me, you got to do. And I'm like, man, that's how you reach the next level.
You have to.
That's why I know I got to skydive.
Yeah.
Because I keep telling myself.
In the army,
first of all, fuck skydive. Oh, so you skydove?
No, I didn't skydive. So
just paratroop jump?
Yeah, so it's different. So you do it alone and you jump from I think it's not scarier, but like there's more room for error.
Yeah, you got to pull it right away.
No, so you don't. So the thing is, so it's 400 meters. You jump from this big Hercules plane, right? And when you jump out, it opens automatically. So basically, you jump out. You're holding because your reserve is here, right? So you hold your reserve because if the reserve opens when you jump out, you fly into the engine and you turn into a fucking. And
the only way to hold it is if for those listening to the audio. No, the only way to hold it is to put your arms over it.
Yeah, that's how you jump. You jump. You go like this. You jump out like this. Okay.
Yeah.
And you count 21, 22, 23. And
21, 22, 23. Why don't you say 1, 2, 3?
I don't know. Because you're not 1, 2, 3 is too fast. So you need 21, 22, I don't know why not 11, 12. It's like 21,
101,
22,
102,
something like that, right? So they decided that's the right time, 3 seconds. So if you do 1, 2, 3, that's not 3 seconds. So 21.
You just get sucked up into.
Yeah. No. So just in case it opens.
Gotcha.
So you gotta hold it. So you count, and then after the 3 seconds, you check your chute, right? And you look up, and it's open, right? So if it's not open, so basically from the plane to the ground is 12 seconds. So you already lost 3 seconds. So you have 9 seconds. If your chute doesn't open, you have 9 seconds to fucking be like, okay, shit, my chute didn't open, which happens 1 in a billion.
Yeah. And
then you got to pull your reserve, which opens in 1.8 seconds. But
damn, 1.8 seconds, right?
So
and how many seconds of free fall do you need where it's a safe landing at a speed? Like, do you need the parachute has to be deployed for 8 seconds?
The reserve?
Minimum. No. Any parachute.
Oh.
You said it's a 14 or 12 second drop?
12 second. No, I'm saying if the chute doesn't open,
yes.
If you drop straight without a chute, you're 12 seconds. So you already lost 3 seconds by counting, right?
Gotcha.
For example, if your chute doesn't open, you have 9 seconds left to wake up and be like, fuck, I got to open my reserve.
What happens if it opens and you pull your reserve and they both open?
So that won't work because the air is already... Because the air is already
you need that air to pull it out.
Yeah, if you pull it,
if you're going too slow, it won't come out.
It won't come out.
It'll just be like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It'll be like an 80-year-old person coming.
Exactly. You'll get nothing. Yeah, you'll get nothing. Yeah. But then also you got to watch out because you're going one after another, right?
Oh,
so
gotcha.
You got to watch out that your buddy, if he goes on top of you, he's taking your air. So you got to break away. You got to break left. You got to break right. You got to learn all these things. So you have 2 weeks of training. I'm like, hold on a second. Why do you drop him?
Wait, 2 weeks of training and you only did 2 jumps?
Yeah, 2 weeks of training, but that's why I remember all this shit because we did 2 weeks of. You got to remember all.
It's like in the class.
What?
You said 2 weeks of training, but you did 2 jumps.
2 jumps, yeah.
So what do you train for?
You train for all this stuff to remember. Like if you got to break left, you got to break right. You jump off things, off these kind of like
they simulate it. It's like 10-foot thing. It's a simulator.
Exactly.
Pull left.
Exactly. They have like a park.
Gotcha.
For that, it's
like an obstacle course.
Just for that. So you jump, you get the feeling of what your groin's gonna feel like when you jump out because
your weight is pulled up at your like fucking the triangle area right here.
Yeah, exactly. So you got to feel all that. First jump I did landed like a feather. Nice. Second jump I did, I'm expecting the same thing. I'm like, I see them ground moving fast under because you can't really tell when you're jumping.
Depth perception is fucked.
Yeah, you can't tell how far you are from the ground. You're like, whatever. And then I fucking get down and boom, and this thing is drag because you got to also know when you get down, the thing can drag if it's windy.
It can keep pulling you.
It will pull you.
Yeah.
So you got to break the parachute in a way. You got to kind of roll it up in your hands, right? You got to twist and all that stuff. But when I hit hard. I almost got a concussion. I hit my helmet hard. But they don't go at a certain wind. They don't go. So I guess it was safe because I was fine. But at the same time, I was like, holy shit. So the first jump was like easy.
You're like, that was the safe version.
No, the first one was easy. The second one was like, oh shit, what the fuck? So and basically we only jump. No one really, they don't use really paratroopers anymore. But the only reason why they do it is they give you kind of like because you're in the special unit. They're like, and
gotcha.
You get like a nice.
You get a crest.
You get
right?
to show you get like a what do you call them?
The
like
crest or whatever it's called.
You
wear it.
You wear it
right here. The plaque.
And that's like the biggest one. And if you're
veteran.
And if you
how they have a lot of them.
Yeah. No, so that one is just like a parachute.
Oh, it's like a little
with wings.
metal decoration thing, right?
Yeah. And you wear that when you go home, and if you have that, everyone's like, "Yo, this guy is big time."
In the Canadian military, in boot camp in Borden, Canadian Forces, Borden, Ontario, where I did boot camp, it's a base.
Yeah.
Right. So all the new recruits are doing boot camp, and all the higher level people are doing continuous training, weapons training. It's all the way up to the highest rank is there, right? It's a full base, right?
Yeah.
But I remember that the way they signify who does what in the military in Canada is the color of the beret.
Yeah.
The red, you know Supreme, the brand? You know that red?
Yeah,
If
that
you have
color.
that red beret, that means you're a paratrooper.
So us too. The red ones for us are also paratroopers.
Yeah, so they would come through. You'd see, and they're rare. It's a small unit, right?
You're like, yeah,
they're
let's get all the pussy.
Yeah. This guy. Every time we do a fucking hard laugh, it cuts like that. See, that's why I'm trying to upgrade this studio so this stupid shit doesn't like that.
Oh, it cut off because of the.
It cut off, but once everyone hears it, it'll be all aligned together. It'll be a little like whoop, whoop, and then it'll be us laughing really hard, and then us being like, "Fuck, that happened again." But whatever, man. So yeah, man.
That's another thing I learned during COVID: editing.
Oh,
a lot
you
of
have to
editing.
edit. You have to edit your own shit.
Everything.
Man.
I had to learn how to make logos, edit. I have merch dropping soon. I got all this. I got
Fuck yeah.
But the thing is, my mom helps me a lot because she knows all this shit. But like, no, I learned a lot.
Your mom's like a
myself.
graphic designer or something?
Yeah, she does a lot. She does my logos and stuff. But like, I learned on my own a lot of stuff. Like, I learned a lot of tricks, how to add music, cut this, cut that, how to TikToks and all that. Like, it's also a good thing to know because it's just in general everything's going online. And again, I'll tell you what so I was doing open mics for like 2 years, right?
Yeah.
And like, bro, I'm not getting anywhere. I gotta suck this guy's dick and that guy's dick to get on stage.
To get on a show.
Like you know what I mean? Like I'm like I'll respect people, but some people are like think they're gatekeepers in this community. I'm like, bro, like really? You're like I respect
You're not funny.
No, I don't. Yeah, or not. Like,
You're not even funny. You just have a show.
Exactly. I don't even care about that. Whatever. I respect you as a person. Just don't be a fucking dick, right? So I've been doing this. I've been doing it for 2 years. I'm like, I feel like I'm not getting anywhere. So then like I said again, I see Nima. I'm like, bro, this guy's getting traction. I remember when Nima had 9,000 followers. That's when I started following him. Okay, this guy's getting some traction. I'm like, okay, hold on a second. Let me see what he's doing. Let me apply that model, and it works. It does work. I'm like, bro, because like if you do your shit online, you do a podcast, you get notoriety. People see you, this and that. Now Nima will go to a show. He'll have 100 people show up for him.
Oh yeah, man! I saw it when he showed up to Absolute Comedy, and he had like this little Asian girl being like, I remember this little Asian girl being, "Is Nima gonna be?" Like she wanted like an autograph. I'm like, damn, Nima's blowing off.
Exactly.
Nima's got that like fame vibe to him.
100%.
Like, more than anyone I've seen like in like my peer group. I'm like, damn,
100%.
Nima's fucking pulling off.
Because also
I like seeing it too.
Yeah, I love it. Like I said, I have a hate-love relationship with him. I'm like, I love him, but like
He sets the standard.
he don't give a fuck, man. He'll do any man. That's what's good because you got to throw shit at the wall, and then finally something will stick, and that's fine. But there's some comics that are, for example, signed to Yuck Yucks, right?
Yeah.
And no one knows who they are. People come for Yucks. The difference between Nima and a Yuck comic is people are showing up for Nima. Because he marketed himself.
It's a
he
draw.
did it himself.
That's what a draw is,
yeah,
right?
you know what I mean? So like you could be signed to Yucks and be funny, but ain't nobody coming for you. No.
Yeah, you could rent as Nima. What's beautiful is you take the control into your hands completely. That means wherever you have an audience, you just go and rent any basement.
Yeah.
Rent any space that takes 100 seats and has a stage or a corner for a mic, and you'll fill it up.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And you'll fill it up. The venue doesn't matter. I'm working my way towards that. That's the end goal.
No, you're right there with him. You're killing it. Bankus is killing it. There's actually a kid. I don't know if you know. You ever heard of him? Sammy Wengo. He's a kid. He's a young comic. He's 18, 19 years old. He's making some funny videos. I saw him, and I respect anyone that tries.
Yeah, that's.
I don't care if you're funny or not. If you try and you're a decent person, and because there's some people that are just like. I don't want to get sour, but like there's a lot of nice people in this comedy world, 100%, and there's some people that are just dicks, like for no reason. Like, bro, we're all trying the same thing. Like, I'm not trying to be funnier than you. I'm not trying to be better than you. I'm not trying to make friends. I'm not trying to make enemies. I just want to go do my shit.
I practice my shit, hone my talent and my craft, and go home.
And that's it. Some people got in this to like become buddy and become very cliquish and all that. I'm not down for that. I'll be your friend, no problem. But like, I don't need to be a part of your.
It doesn't have a friend group. I didn't join this to have for a friend group.
I don't mind to make friends, but like if you're, it's not like a fraternity.
It seems like sometimes they're like you gotta hang around before you can get on stage here.
I'm like, why?
You gotta chill. You can't just get on stage based on
exactly.
merit. It doesn't matter if
Exactly.
you're just funny.
Yeah.
You're like, what? Why? Yeah, you gotta hang around
Man, I just
3-4
wanna
weeks.
do
We'll
my
see.
thing, man. And,
Yeah.
and like sometimes like I always like in the amusement park, right? On the scariest ride, there's no line, right? But apparently for comedy, it was just the scariest thing in the world. You gotta wait 3 hours to
Oh,
get on
dude.
fucking stage,
Everybody and their grandma's there signed up for 5 minutes.
right?
Man.
And I'm like,
That's
"Ugh."
something I don't miss in the least.
I don't miss it all.
It's
And like,
open mic lists that are 30, 40 deep.
you were talking the other day to someone on the podcast I was listening to, and you were saying how you felt you didn't do comedy for so long, but you had a show in August or something, and you felt good on stage.
Yeah, I feel funnier.
You felt funnier. Me too. I had a show. I went to Jam Easy's show. He had a show.
Yeah, the rooftop show.
No, it was in the arcade
Brampton?
place.
Oh,
it was
okay.
here.
No, I didn't do that one yet.
I just showed up, just like whatever. And he's like, "Yo, why don't you get on stage?" I'm like, "Nah, I just came to say hi, whatever." He's like, "No, get on." I got on. I didn't even have any jokes, but I was so in the now.
Yeah.
I was just there. I was present. I was like, because like again from Sebastian. Sebastian has a podcast, and this guy. One thing I learned about him, he'll take one topic and talk about it for an hour. He's like, "Hey, let me ask you something. You ever been to the grocery store? You gotta give it." And he'll talk about the cashier for an hour. And I realized how you can get on stage.
Oh, he picks it apart.
Yeah, and you can talk, and I realized you got to slow down when you talk, be confident with who you are, and all that
Pace,
stuff,
yeah.
right? So, so I realized that, like, doing shows every night, doing 3 shows a night, all that, like, I didn't feel like I was getting so much, I feel like being online, it challenges me more, and I feel like I'm getting better from it, too. And not that I'm not going to do open mics. I want to do open mics. My plan was actually this year, what I was going to do, I was going to get an RV and tour in the U.S. I was just going to do open mics. I was like, fuck it.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's
my
an
plan.
awesome plan. That's what I wanted to do.
That
to be
was my
honest.
plan. I was gonna
shows because I've already been to like any place that I go in the States. I will find out in advance the shows and open mics there, and I'll do them all.
Yeah.
I've done them in like New Orleans, Austin, all through Detroit, San Francisco, LA. LA, I couldn't get on stage. LA, I tried to get on stage, but
LA probably you can get on.
No, you can't get on
you can
stage.
probably get on.
Yeah, exactly. But back
Now
when
you get on New York
I went
and
on
LA.
1 month before COVID.
Yeah.
And I
you
went.
couldn't get on. Oh, you were in San Francisco. I remember.
I was, yeah. I
was
got
a
up
trip, yeah.
because I know my boys out there. Shout out to Stroy Moyd in Bay Area Comedy Network, in Bay Area. He's the ambassador of Bay Area Comedy.
Yeah,
Stroy Moyd. That's one of those people who just showed you love from the get-go.
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
so much
Yeah.
cold shoulders and hate from the get-go where people just would dismiss me.
Yeah. Bro.
And
why?
this is the one
Why?
guy who
Yeah.
just stuck up out of all the noise, who just right from the get-go, he fucking told me where all of the mics were, what the shows were, and he gave me my first show. My first time I ever did a show was at Cobb's Comedy Club in fucking San Francisco.
Why not? Why not? You know,
5-minute guest spot.
I really want. My dream is to really have a one day, obviously, to do comedy, but like later on in my later years, I would really like Rogan is doing. He's opening his own comedy club. Like,
You
I
add
really
a
wanna
necessity,
have-
though, right?
What do you mean?
Because there's really nothing going for him in Austin.
Oh, in Austin?
Like
Yeah.
a proper club.
No, but he wants to open something. There is a lot of comedy in Austin. Just 'cause
Well,
of
no.
COVID.
I'm pretty sure I did comedy in Austin.
Oh, yeah? There's
It's
not a
all
lot.
little theaters.
Yeah.
So he
Wants to
is
open-
opening a club.
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
are theaters for any performing
Oh,
act.
okay, yeah. So he wants to open. Yeah, that's my.
He wants to open a
I want to
club
open
club.
like a small, like a Yucks or like a Absolute. But I want to give. My dream is to give people that, because I know how hard it is. Why are you giving this guy like so much time? Where you can give these amateurs some time. Because like sometimes I'm like, bro, like there's I understand
He might
you
be
gotta
the
work
next
your way-
guy or girl.
Yeah, but
You know
like
what I
it
mean?
doesn't take anything to give someone a nice word, to be nice to someone, to tell them, bro, good set, funny set. No. Even if you didn't think it was funny, it doesn't matter, because you never know how much you're gonna boost someone's confidence. Because someone might have that fire, they have that spark. You just gotta push them a little bit. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people that were telling me, yo, you're funny, this, that, and always people tell me online, whatever. And I really appreciate that. But then there's some people that like for no reason, like, and usually it's the people that are more veterans a little bit. I'm like, why? Why you gotta be like that?
What do they say?
No, like people will just give you a cold shoulder.
Yeah,
they won't.
yeah.
They won't even look at you. I'm like, bro, really? And like, I come in to sometimes to open mics, and I look like that cocky guy because I'm scared. I'm scared. Everyone is. We're all in the same thing. We're like, and then you got to sit through some bullshit.
You're in the
3
belly
hours.
of the beast, waiting for your turn.
Yeah,
you
you're
know?
waiting for your turn. And then you're waiting for your turn, and then you hear 3 hours of shit comedy, which no disrespect to them, because my comedy was also
Is
comedy
also shit. Yeah,
And
exactly.
then your confidence is like, you start to be like, come in like, yeah, I got my hair gelled up, I got my jacket, I got all that stuff, and then, hey, what's going on, guys?
Yeah, right.
That's not the way it
no
was gonna go down.
conviction. Sebastian bombed for 5 years with the same voice he was doing. Apparently, he was doing the same shit always.
I remember him when he was doing the same voice.
Before we even any of us heard of him. In LA in the Comedy Store. He was bombing for 5 years doing the shit that he's doing now. He would come in with his waiter outfit from the Four Seasons and like some weird fashion that he thought was in. Yeah. And he would do the same shit that he does now, but he just didn't have the timing, the conviction, the point of view. He didn't have it all down. So it just bombed.
No.
I don't get this guy. I don't get him.
Voice,
it's not funny. And then suddenly it was funny.
I remember even me when I watched him when he like in his earlier days.
Like, aren't you embarrassed?
He was trying hard. No.
Even
those
before
are
that?
Before,
you're talking about the Vince Vaughn Wild West tour or whatever?
I didn't even watch that, but I gotta watch that too. But like you would see, because that's what you do in the beginning. You try so hard, and then when you become who you are, you don't need to try. This is me. This is who I am. Right? You're flowing. You're being easy on stage, and people can feel that. It's an energy. They feel, oh, this guy's being genuine, and then you could tell a guy when he's like, hey, what's going on, guy? And he's being very and there's some guys that are like that for real when it's forced. Yeah. So and then he slowly became. Now he's a superstar, right? But like I said, listen, like it doesn't take nothing to be nice to someone. You know, be nice to each other. And
people don't think about it like that. They don't think of it as like, and you shouldn't think of it as I'm going to be nice to this person because they could possibly help me in the future. No, it's just like, how would you if you're new, man? I remember getting to San Francisco and just being ignored. And because like in any comedy scene, people come in and there's so much flux of new people. They come in for a couple months, they get disheartened and they're gone. So nobody gives a fuck about you for like 6 months before they go, what was your name again? You know what I mean? Even though they've been seeing you all the time for 6 months. So I just got that so much. And like anytime someone who is so much more veteran than you shows you respect and treats you, because if I'm in line with you or if I'm in any other scenario, you would treat me like a human being. But a dynamic comes into place when you're at an open mic and if you're a higher level person jumping into an open mic to just do a quick spot and dip, all the people you see there in your mind, they're below you. Some people don't act like that. Some people just treat you as if we're still in the elevator. But some people treat you as if, oh no, this is like there is a power dynamic. You don't just talk to me. And fuck those people.
Why though? And that's what I mean. Like,
and I hate it when those people are funny. That's what really. When they're funny, that pisses me off. Because when they're not funny, you're like, that's the universe working itself out. But when they are funny, you're like, fuck. You know what I mean? Am I nothing? I don't know.
They usually are funny, but that should make it even more. I'm like, bro, you are funny. Why
How can you
miserable?
Be like this? Yeah.
Like, you should be, bro, you figured it out.
I heard early on the funniest guys are the nicest guys.
Yeah.
Because they got nothing to worry about. They're not threatened by you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You should never feel,
it's always that guy who's like a year ahead, who's kind of threatened because you got more of a shine in you.
Yeah.
That's like, there's no open micers on that show.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, we're capping it at 25. And a couple people are going to come through. I don't think you're going to get on.
Yeah.
Some all that bullshit.
Fuck
you.
Yeah. And listen, I know sometimes I can come off ignorant. Like I come off, not ignorant, but I come.
Pull your mic in a little closer.
Sorry.
But don't yell though.
I'm not ignorant, but I come off like, just like, because sometimes I'm like, I'm not that click guy. I'm not like, hey, I'm going to become buddies with you. I don't mind to become buddies with you, but like I'm not. Some people demand. There's a difference between demanding. Like I'll respect you, but if you demand respect, I don't fucking know you. Like,
if you got to show the level of respect that you demand.
Yeah, no, I'll respect you as a human for sure. I'm never going to disrespect you, But like some people demand respect. I'm like, bro, hold on a second. Why do I was in the army? I did all that. What about me? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like I don't tell you, hey, I was in the army. Respect me. I don't give a fuck where you came from. You don't give a fuck where I came from. If you give a fuck about me, I'll give a fuck about you. But I'll respect you as a human, as a comic, 100%.
By default.
Yeah, I respect you. But don't
there's also a further level of respect that you'll reciprocate too. And if people don't respect you as a fucking human, I'm not gonna fuck you. I'm not gonna talk to you.
I'm
walking away if you walk toward me.
Fuels my fire though when I'm like the underdog, because that fuels me a lot when people doubt and whatever. That actually fuels me a lot sometimes. So sometimes I'll have some. So I don't mind it sometimes.
I'm not the guy that's like that though. I'm not the guy who's like, let them hate me because that'll make me funnier.
Yeah.
What's the point of the hate? It's just poison in this environment.
No, for sure. No, I don't. It's
not necessarily gonna make me be funnier or make me cower, but it's just like, what the fuck is the point? You're just fucking putting your mental shit out there. You know what I mean?
You're right.
But screw all that shit, man. That's actually that's the benefit of COVID and the pandemic is to break us out of that death dark open mic.
It's 2020 for a reason, man. 2020 people laugh, but it's clear vision. Like I have such a clearer vision than 2019, 2020. Like it's hard, but like sometimes to learn shit, you have to. It's not going to be the easiest, mentally. So I feel like the world is going through an awakening time, right? And it's actually a good thing that's happening because through like this kind of pressure, I really feel like you learn. And a lot of people are doing fuck all. They're collecting syrup and doing nothing, but there's really a lot of opportunity. No. You can collect syrup, but you're doing a lot.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You're doing a lot. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, fuck those people.
No, I really feel like you're doing a lot. You inspire me and this and that. But I'll tell you another person that was super nice when I met him, and this guy doesn't need to be nice to anyone. Dave Marhesh.
Oh yeah,
bro! I met this guy at Nubian, and he was standing in the back, and I remember I was standing there, and he was like, no, stand, because it was jammed, right? And in the back door,
yeah.
And,
where all the comics are.
Yeah, and he was like, no, go ahead and stand. I'm like, bro, do your thing. Like you've been here longer than me.
Yeah.
How about I respect you? And he was so respectful. He's like, yeah, he's such a down to earth guy. That's a truly funny and nice individual that I met. And it was really nice. And that guy, he's a TV show, and he doesn't need to be nice. He could be.
What's a perfect example is like, do you ever meet? Like just in general society, whenever you speak with someone who's older, there's that assumption that you're going to respect your elders, especially in non-North American countries.
Yeah.
You respect your elders, right? And sometimes the older person has that vibe of respect your elders right off the top. Know your place right now, youngin'.
Yeah.
But sometimes you get the old person who just talks to you with respect, like the man they were 50 years ago.
Yeah.
And that's like a pro who's nice to you for no reason, almost, it seems. You're like, this guy's like 70 and he's treating me.
And you want to respect him.
Yeah, and you want to respect him fourfold now.
That's the way to go. That's the way to do it. If you want someone's respect, it's a, like.
Bro, this will, we'll remember this. Once we have
100%.
our shit down and we become pros, we'll remember this and we'll pay this shit forward.
100%. That's why I still try to now. If I see someone coming up, like I'm still coming up, but like if I see someone that's like coming up under me, I'll always like their videos, laugh at their stuff because I know how hard it is. I know how it's like
those first couple ones.
Yeah,
you're like, what am I doing?
Should I put it out? What are they gonna say? Even still now, like I still like I'm not 100%. Like should I say this? Should I do this? Or should I put it out? Are they gonna laugh? Or they not? Like just do it. But like at the same time, I respect. Like I said, I respect anyone that tries anything. If you're trying, to me, you're a comic. I don't care if you're funny or not. You're trying, you're good.
Oh yeah, man.
As long as you put the work in, that's it.
I remember, look, when I first started posting videos, I'd be like, oh, is there shit in the background? I should probably shoot it where there isn't. Is the background dirty? Like, I'm just thinking about shit that's so
like
irrelevant.
See, you're there. I'm still there.
No, that's all irrelevant. Let me tell you that shit.
I know it is, but I'm saying, because that's how it is in the beginning. You're like, and then...
You're like, oh, yeah, exactly. Oh, this poster's in the background. They're not going to pay attention to what I'm saying. I should turn my back so the poster's not in the... No, dude, just fucking say your point. And don't be like, oh, that poster's visible behind me. Like, these are the little things that you work 100%. And you work and you know what's irrelevant. And it's just a numbers game like anything else in the world.
100%.
Like learning to walk, run, spell, read, fucking drive. It's a numbers game.
Yeah. No,
it's a numbers game.
100%. Oh, you're right.
I want to know, bro, how did you parlay all of this, your life, into hairdressing?
Also, hairdressing is another thing where, so when I got here, I was like doing all these shit jobs. Like, okay, first of all, I was like, when I finished the army, let's go back to that. I was finished the army and I was like, okay, what do I do from here? Because so I didn't know where to go from the army. I was like, maybe I should join the police. Maybe I should stick. But like once you stick, I wasn't thinking of that at the time. But once you stay in the army, you become an army person.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was gonna ask you about the other people in your platoon.
Yeah, a lot of them stayed.
They're in there still, right?
But that's
because it's so much financial security.
Yeah, it's very secure.
Yes.
I don't need the security. I don't care for that. The comics are the people that least security.
Yeah.
They don't need any security. Yeah. Like I'll go drive anywhere.
We all need security.
I'll live in a bus.
Willing to live without it.
Yeah, we're the risk takers.
It's a sacrifice.
Exactly. We'll take the sacrifice, right? So the army life is very much like just that, and right. So I was like, at the time, I wasn't even consciously doing it because of that. Something was like, no, I applied for something and they didn't accept me. So I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just going back to Canada because I got nothing to do here. I'm not gonna go start a office job I'm like, fuck it, I'm not doing that. So I came here. And I literally like went with the flow of life. I had no plan. I didn't know what I'm going to do. So my sister was a hairdresser, right? I was working construction at the time for like years. I was doing painting. I was painting condos. I was like, I had all these not making
Just
big
being
money.
Israeli as fuck.
I just hate it. Like,
you need
no,
prime. We are prime again.
I
We
was
live
literally
with-
like an immigrant. Like I was working with Mexicans, and I
Yeah.
literally. That's why I like I'm not an immigrant, but I am an immigrant at the same time. Like I came here with like nothing. We came here. We lived in a tent. I'm not joking. We had no home. We lived in Vancouver, and we didn't like Vancouver. We drove from Vancouver to here. I'm one of six, so we're 6 kids and my mom, right? And we drove down
It's
here.
a big tent, man.
No,
Goddamn.
we didn't have an apartment yet, so we were staying in a campground.
Oh goddamn.
Yeah, we're staying in a campground. We made it fun. We made it as if it's like a trip. We're
Oh,
like,
you have to.
we're
Yeah,
fun.
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
We my mom.
We
was
got
out-
a home waiting somewhere. Yeah.
So every day, me, my mom, and my sister would go out and look for an apartment, whatever. We found an apartment, whatever. Then we started our life, right? I was working construction. I hated the job. Even the guy that I worked for, he was an Albanian Arab guy. He's like, you are not good with pay. You have to be on TV. You talk too much. You always tell me, you talk too much. You have to be on TV. He always told me that. He always like, you talk too much. You joke around. You don't know how to work. I'm like, bro, fuck you. I'm working my ass off. What are you talking about? You know, you're joking all the time.
What was his name? Esteban?
Arjan.
Arjan?
Aryan.
What, did it have like a weird accent over the O or some weird?
I can't even
line?
do his accent. It wasn't Arab. It wasn't like an Arab accent. It was like Albanian, but
Like
he had-
Armenian.
Albanian.
I'm gonna keep saying Armenian.
Armenian?
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
just
know.
thinking of an Anian. Whatever. Or I
So-
guess that's an Anian. Either way.
I hated that job. Then I was I had a friend that became my partner. Kind of, we worked together, and we had a falling out. And then when I had it falling out, I was like, bro, I don't know what the fuck to do with my life, man. And then I was like, fuck it, let me just go to hair school. And everyone was like, "You gonna go to hair school? You gonna do a hair school?" Nah, best move I ever made.
Best move.
No, I mean I feel like
Like at that time, that was the move.
Everything is a stepping stone, right?
Yes.
You go to the army. I built my okay, special unit. Now I have in my head. Okay, I can actually achieve something. Because before that, I never finished
Discipline,
high school.
yeah, you're disciplined.
I never finished anything really.
Gotcha.
I never finished anything. But
I don't come, my
I don't
friend.
come. I never finished.
I never spray, my friend. It all bent up. My ball. These aren't legs. Yeah.
So army and then hair school, and I finished that, and I did pretty well. And I'm still like I still thank God because of that. I have like kind of like. I don't like to say plan B because Eddie Murphy's a kind of guy. I remember him in the interview. He's like, if you have a plan B, if you got a plan B, you ain't never going to get there. Right? So he's like, you can't have a plan B, but like, this is kind of like a backup job that I have because I want to do comedy full time. Right? But, so it was the best. And through that, so I would get my fix of making people laugh in the salon.
Yeah, just your
man-
impression style. I could always tell. I'm like, this guy's cutting hair and cutting
We
shit
would
and
have
doing
so
impressions
much
all
fun.
day
Man, we would have it was me, oh, you were at my place once.
long. Yeah, I've got my shit
so
cut
me,
there.
my sister, and this Asian dude, we worked together, and then COVID hit, and then we started. But up until then, man, so that was my fix. So every day I would get, and then Stefano, I worked with him, and
Vitamin Steve.
Vitamin Steve. Let's shout out to Vitamin Steve. Okay, so Vitamin Steve was he was doing comedy, and I'm watching, I'm like, fuck, this motherfucker can do comedy. I got it. Like, it was kind of like a message from God. Like, bro, just go to an open mic.
Go to an open mic.
Right?
Yeah.
So everything was building up to me doing comedy. And I was always, like I said, I was always like shying away from him, like, Also, because when I grew up in the Hasidic world, there was no idols that we looked up to, where there was no like talents where you become an artist or a singer or
Every fucking writer and like, there's so many Jewish
that
comedians.
that's
Comedy's
different.
the thing you
That's
had.
like, that's different Jewish. That's
That's not Hasidic. That's
that's
like normal level Jewish.
That's like Ben
New
Beck is
York
Jewish.
Jew. That's like New York.
different Jewish. You know what I mean,
Yeah.
that's different. Like there's Israeli Jews, Hasidic. Like there's so many different levels to
Okay,
Jews, right?
just before you continue, tell me the levels of Jews.
So there's Hasidic Jews, right?
That's the highest level.
The highest
That's like
level.
Super Saiyan 3 Jew.
Right? Yeah.
Okay.
Then there's like
Or I guess
a little bit
Ultra
of a,
Instinct Jew.
then there's like a little bit of a lower level, but they do all the same rules. But they'll go to like movie theaters, they'll watch movies. They won't have a TV at home.
Yeah.
So so
They
go to
won't watch
movies.
Schindler's List.
Yeah, of course. They'll
You
watch
know,
Schindler's List.
not Schindler's List. We don't watch King Kong, but we don't do
Only Schindler's List.
Yes, yeah.
You have to
Liam
remember
Neeson,
it.
best actor. Yeah, this is
You cannot forget the Holocaust. You gotta watch these movies because we'll never forget.
yeah.
So there's those ones that will watch movies, and then there's like less ones that were like, okay, we'll only do this, but we don't do Shabbat. We're like traditional.
Gotcha.
And then there's like Benkis. Like Benkis is like, he's Jewish, but like I don't know. If
He's off
speaking
Jew,
of-
yeah.
But
He's
like
like
he's
off-
kind of like I don't know if he does any of the
He's off brand, yeah.
But could be he is. I could be talking out of ass. He could be super religious undercover. I don't know.
Bankus? Nah,
Yeah,
not at all,
I know what I
dude.
mean. So like,
that
yeah. So
fucking hit it well?
there's that, and then there's like Jews that like don't even know they're Jewish. Like there's like, yeah, my grandfather.
Like they're doing a 23andMe, like,
Yeah. Like what? I was wondering why
I've been tipping this whole time for no reason. I've been leaving 18% tips for no reason. Yeah.
That's hilarious. So yeah, man. So what were we getting at?
I was just talking about the levels of Jews, but no, we're talking about the dynamic in the fucking hair salon. You're telling bits, you're cutting people's hair.
Yeah, so
Vitamin Steve, who's another open mic comic, and actually his comic's been doing it, hairstylist.
Yeah.
You two would roll up to the open mics all the time as a duo.
Yeah. So we would drive together. Like I would drive him, he would drive me, or whatever. And yeah, so now I was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna just do this. And then like 2 years in, and then COVID hit. And and then like I said, I feel like COVID actually made me much more
stronger.
We're
stronger, faster.
Yeah, as a person, like living in the now, being who you are, not worrying about, like I feel like a lot of times I would go up and I would think of not bombing instead of thinking, let me do well.
Or instead of just being in the moment, right? Because all those are thinking.
Yeah, just like don't think of losing, think of winning, or just don't worry about it. Just go up, just clear.
When I overthink it, I want to know what my opening line is. And then I be in the moment, know how I'm opening.
Yeah,
that's it. And then the rest I'll flow through, right?
In 10 years from
Look
now,
at the room.
Be like, what the fuck were you talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
But this is where I'm at right now.
I mean, we're talking about 7-minute sets and shit. I'm not talking about going up there in an hour. How am I going to open up? But I'm talking more of like comment on the room, comment on the current space. Because I learned that eventually. It's like if you show people an organic funny, if you say an organic funny thing that obviously couldn't have been written in advance. Yeah. They go, oh, this guy's really funny. He obviously couldn't have. And then it gives all of your material like a plausible deniability. Like, is he coming up with this on the spot?
Yeah.
He might just be saying all this because that thing he said was about this room specifically.
Yeah.
He made fun of that guy's hat, that back door. You know what I mean?
That's when you were pro.
Well, no, that's way before pro. That's like I'm not even.
I think that's a very pro
like,
thing.
I'm like,
you can like kind of
no, I don't call that pro. I'm just saying that's like just getting better.
No, but I mean like if you're doing comedy and people can't tell if this is off the cuff or not, I think that's
absolutely, yeah. Achieving
like,
that.
Yeah, you're like, oh, is he coming? Because like you can watch like Chappelle or Bill Burr. Or Sebastian,
it just looks like they're talking,
and it looks like they're like, this is the first time he's saying this.
Yeah,
because they still have so much passion, like you know what I mean. So that's the level where I want to get to, where it's like
You know what I was wondering? This is a, random side cut, whatever you want to call it. But do you ever get people who talk to you about like, man, the Jews run the media. You run the media.
Man,
the Jews, you have all the 1% of the wealth in the world.
I never got that. And like, you know what? The Jews have not been showing a lot of track record has not been good this year. For Jews, man, fuck, they kind of dodged it through COVID, but like the Weinstein and the the Epsteins and all that, man.
Was Epstein Jewish? I know that's a super
Epstein,
Jewish name.
Yeah, of course, man. What do you think he was, man? You think he was Mohammed Epstein? Like, this guy was Jewish, like man, like. That's why, like, I don't like that 1%ers like of those, like I don't like. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of good Jews. And there's a lot of bad. It's like any religion, right?
Else,
but I feel like we need to do a better job as Jewish people in general, to step our game up, because like. But don't get me wrong. I think that the whole I don't. This is just conspiracy, but this I truly believe this, that like the Epsteins and the Weinsteins or whatever. That's just a bone that they threw us. Like, here, take this guy, but there's a whole
world that's being hidden. Yeah.
I don't know if they're Jewish or not, but whatever. I just feel like there's a lot of shit going on, and
like they're scapegoats.
Yeah, kind of thing. But like,
I think Weinstein not so much. Epstein for sure. But you saw what happened with Epstein. But Weinstein did all that to himself. You can't. I mean, it may be indicative of a bigger problem. Like a lot of other people are doing that kind of thing. But all that shit he single-handedly did. There's like a million people that are like, I got the part, and I sucked his dick.
We need to step our game up as we can always do better as a people, always, right? So. It don't look good, right? It don't really look that good on our resume, for example, right? It's like, hey, look at you. What did we got with? So, but then again, like they don't represent all Jews, but at the same time, like if we are supposed to be the chosen ones, right? You got to be a role model to the world. You can't be, having these sex rings and fucking being pedophile.
Sex rings, yeah.
You know what I mean? You gotta, if you're gonna call yourself a Jew, to me, a Jew is someone that you can look at me like, yo, that's a Jew. That's what I try to be. I try to be a representative. I try to be a good rep for Jews. And people are like, yo, what? You're Jewish? Oh my God, I never knew. You're not an asshole.
Yeah.
No, not like that.
I didn't
like, you know what I mean? So
know.
I really try to represent where I'm from and who I am, right? So people are like, you know what? That's a good, I like you. Because you don't want to give a bad, and wherever you're from, you're from Sudan, right?
People take you as a representative of whatever you are. Right? You're always an ambassador of Israeli, Jewish, comedian, hairstylist.
Yeah.
All the things you do, you're an ambassador for those things, right?
I want to be. I think you should always try to, represent where you're from, who you are, and your people and whatever, and just be a good person. People can be like, you know what? I always thought this about people and this about Jews, and they can be like, because you got to bring pride to, and I feel like that's what everyone's job is as humans, is like to, not necessarily, you know what I mean, right? So
yeah, 100%, man. Yeah. It goes without saying. You just be a decent person. It goes back to the same open mic shit we were talking about. Yeah. Be a decent person.
Yeah, that's it.
And it's not even about like, so people think Jews are good in general. It's just to be a decent, treat people the way you want to be treated.
Yeah.
Right?
In general, the media tries to twist shit in certain ways.
If you look at it, the parallels between the main religions, Christianity, Judaism, Islam, the parallels, like the core is all the same.
Yeah.
Don't kill, don't rape, be a good person, be charitable, period.
Yeah.
And then everyone's got their own flair
and people came
on the side.
And that's the thing, is there's snakes everywhere. You just gotta, step around them. You just gotta watch it. And every industry,
like the garden.
every
if this world's
place,
a garden,
there's
snakes in it.
Yeah. So I feel like you just gotta, try to work around it and not let, snakes kind of, or negative people get you down, and kind of you try to elevate them. But don't get me wrong, people get me down sometimes, and that's a trickle effect where I go home and I yell at my brother, and where I try to not. I'm like, I try to stay very self-aware and be like, okay, hold on a second, this happened.
I forget what it's called, but it's like it's like reflective, right? I did like Psych 101 or at one point where it's kind of like it comes in, it goes out, you deflect it back onto the people in like that you have relationship with.
Yeah, 100%.
What's it called? Every episode, I've been starting doing these 3 questions, and I know you listen to the podcast, so you may already know them off the top.
Yeah.
All right, just some questions to give it. Like I started doing them because I kind of wanted to have an immigrant section vibe, tie the whole thing, put a nice bow on it, right? For the people, right? They need a theme, all that. But anyways, number 1, first question: did you get beat as a kid?
I did.
And looking back, was it a good move or no?
I mean, I think all kids should be beat, to be honest. Like,
okay, all right. This is the kind of answer I've been looking for.
Because,
goddamn.
like, man, look what happened. We got a bunch of pussies now. Everyone's offended. Everyone's triggered. Everyone's offended of something, man. But like, you need bullies. Like, I'm sorry, you kind of need bullies in life because that teaches you about life. I'm not saying you need one bully. I'm not saying you need 10 bullies in everything. You need one bully in every school, or 2 or 3.
You need a dick to show you that not everybody's fair.
Yeah. I hate bullies. Bullies.
Of course, nobody's like, I love bullies.
But at the same time, I learned how to navigate. And I feel like my defense was comedy.
Yeah, because we're not fighters, right?
Yeah.
I'm not a fighter, so I'd have to like
100%. Mike Epps has the best. He said a story. He was saying, you know when I knew I was a comic? He's like, I got kidnapped one time, and they put me in the trunk, and they were playing this music, and then the music stopped, and he's like, he banged on the thing. He's like, hey, play that song again. He's like, that's when I knew I was a comic.
That's fucking
so like he got kidnapped, and he still found a way to fucking make laugh about it, right? So like, I feel like
they're just driving like this kid's all right.
He's in the trunk. They got
this
him
kid's
in the
all
trunk.
right. I think this kid's all right.
So did I get hit? Yeah, I got hit, and my mom is like, that's wrong, but like, because her second husband, like not by my dad, by the second husband, so he kind of wasn't my dad. He was like a stepdad.
Oh, so he hit you extra hard or what?
Yeah, I think so. But the thing is, I feel like every time I got hit, it's because I was talking some shit, right? I was talking back or whatever. He ended up being a psychopath. He was crazy, but at the same time, no.
Turns out he was hitting police officers too. So
no,
he's not free.
He was crazy, but at the same time, like. But then again, like I can't speak on it because you know what?
We don't say crazy anymore, Lior.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
We say mentally fucked.
Mentally. Mentally fucked. So like I don't know, but then again, there's some kids like I didn't really. But then, like I said, there's some kids that it will really traumatize them. But for me, my personal experience, I don't know. I just feel like because like I think when you're a kid, you know when you're doing something wrong.
Yeah. And it
play
reinforces
stupid.
it. Yeah.
You're like, I'm a kid. You know you fucked up. Yeah, you should get slapped once in a while.
So you actually think it was good for you?
Yeah,
Like,
I don't. Yeah, I mean, like what? I mean,
bro, you don't have to defend it in any. I just want to know that because that's that's interesting to me. Some people didn't get hit and they think that was good because now they've got like a very communication-based relationship.
Yeah.
Some people got beat and were like, nah, I got beat too much. It didn't make sense.
Yeah.
And then there's some that it just hit the sweet spot where it's like,
Yeah.
I got hit when I fucked up, and I think.
I got
Like
hit a
in
little
your
too much
case,
sometimes.
okay, all right. So
But
it
it
always
didn't-
unravels. Like, yeah, it was probably a little more than it should have been.
But it didn't really. Yeah, it didn't really like. I didn't feel like it was too much, but at the same time, like I don't know, like. I think it did good, like, because you're gonna get hit in life way worse than you're gonna get hit by your parents. Bro, life will
Well
hit
said,
you.
brother. I might quote that just for the
Bro,
episode.
life will hit you in a different way.
Yeah.
And I think the more you get hit in life, but like not.
There's not going to be a red cheek.
Yeah, people think
Right?
they're gonna go. Oh, it's just I'm gonna get the job. What do you? No, man, you're gonna get slapped around in life in a different way, in a way worse way, mentally. Like I would rather get beat physically than mentally. Mentally, if I'm good mentally, beat the shit out of me. I don't care. It's all good.
I'd like to avoid both beatings.
Yeah, me
but
too.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on the
I would
severity.
I would rather, so yeah.
But yeah, okay. So the next question is, what's something you've only seen that in your culture, in your household, something you've only seen? Like I said, for an example, for Sudani people, something I've only seen in Sudani places is that instead of couches in the living room, there's just beds. There's just a bunch of like twin beds.
Like on the floor kind of thing?
No. Like normal twin beds, like you'd find in a bedroom.
Yeah.
Twin bed. Not a couch, not a sofa, a twin bed. So you can be horizontal and fall asleep right away watching TV.
In your house?
In the house.
Yeah, okay. No, outside.
Outside too, in Sudan, not here, but outside too, all
So
over
you
the
mean
place.
something that like Israelis would have in their house that like would not...
I'm talking about you specifically. I don't mean more like Israeli, but like your household. But yeah, like you being half, it's kind of like a different, it's like a custom scenario. Or some shit that you've only saw in Israel that you haven't seen in the rest of the world.
Okay, there's something that Israel has in every house that that I don't think they have in the rest of the world. They always have a bomb shelter in every house.
Every house has a bomb shelter.
bomb shelter, and it's always a bedroom. And as soon as which doesn't happen a lot, but like once it does, everyone goes into that person's bedroom. Like, hey, what the fuck? Everyone's in my room right now.
Actually, is it in the basement or is
I'm in the middle of doing my thing? Get the hell out of here! No, it's in the part. Even in the condos, every condo has one of those rooms where it's like a bomb shelter.
So are the walls metal or something?
Yeah, no, it's like cement, like very.
So it's a normal construction, but one room always has a highly reinforced.
Yeah. Listen, all the construction workers in Israel are Muslim, so they could have strapped bombs in that whole room and we don't know it. but
We will get them back.
We will get
We're
them.
playing the long game. we play the long game over here. Yeah.
We are playing the long game. Just wait, Habibi. We are gonna get all the Yehudis. You think you are safe, huh? Just wait.
We will wait. We will call the fake alarms. They will go in the room. The rooms will all blow.
You watch The Dark Knight. This is the dark day, okay?
Right? Christopher Nolan wrote this idea.
So I guess that's something. I mean,
That's actually, I had no idea. But every house,
every
legit.
apartment building, every unit you're in. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Fuck, I had no
House,
idea.
apartment, condo. They all
That's
have
a fucking war culture right there, bro.
Yeah.
Last question is, and I'm assuming this is for the Israelis, this would be the Arabs, but who was the butt of jokes?
My family?
Not in the family, like in my brother or whatever, but like who was the butt of all the jokes? Like, don't be you're acting.
Yeah. So my youngest brother, we'd make fun a lot, but like he'd be the butt of the jokes, and he happens. I don't want to air it out over here. It's all good. I'm not gonna talk about my brother that much, but my brother, but like
Shits
then again,
himself still. Yeah.
But actually, between me and my sister, because we have one dad and they have another dad, right? But we never see each other as half siblings because we grew up all together, right? But like me and my sister, we would make fun of my dad all the time. how he's like very like my dad's very Moroccan. No, he's not. No, not my dad's super calculated. He's not cheap. He's not. That's the thing. He's not Jewish cheap. It's different. He's immigrant cheap.
Oh, okay.
It's different. There's Jewish cheap.
Explain the difference between immigrant cheap and Jewish cheap.
Okay, so there's like being cheap like you're a billionaire.
Yeah.
And you're like giving like 10% tip. It's not being like my dad is very calculated, very immigrant. Like immigrant calculated. No, like
I'm not gonna get it here because I can get it there.
I'll give you cash.
Yeah.
Like, well, no, it's Sears, Dad.
Yeah. It's like Sebastian's
bit.
Yeah.
You can't bargain here. What are you doing? So my dad every receipt, and he always finds mistakes. I'm like, how the fuck he always has the glasses on, like. And he doesn't care if there's 17 people waiting in line. He'll hold up.
Yeah.
I gotta check the receipt. Like that's what I mean. He's calculated. He's not, and he always catches a mistake. Always, but he's always super calculated. So, and he's identical twin. My dad and my uncle. So they're very like a husband and wife, always fighting.
So how do you make fun of him? Do you guys go like this?
And I always like the way my dad's like. He's always like very like. He's never like impressed.
Like nothing. Yeah. Like, he's never all the way in on something.
Never. He's like always like.
He's never like, let's do it.
Never. No.
Right?
Oh, okay.
I'm all in.
Always my dad. I want this. No. That's the first answer. Then he thinks. The first reaction. That's the immigrant reaction. Yeah. No.
No.
No. I want no. Then he's like, okay. Wait, they have a sale over here. You want?
Yeah.
Like, no, I don't want the fucking sale. I want to go to the Nike store.
That's so funny.
One time.
So it's just the immigrant experience all over, huh?
But the older I get, I'm morphing into that motherfucker, and I realize
same here,
he has a point.
Yeah, same here. And I don't even have kids yet. Right,
blowing my nose in the shower, choking on my toothbrush. I know you got a joke like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's when you know you're a grown up.
Deep throating that. How deep are you going? Jesus. My dad gagging on the toothbrush. I'm always like, why are you brushing your teeth next to the living room? Brush it upstairs. You got a master bedroom.
That guy. Blowing nose in the shower, peeing in the shower, all that shit, man.
It's the more I talk to people, the more I realize we're all just the same for the most part.
100%.
Immigrant or not, we're literally all just the same. But yeah, man. That's it, bro. Let's land this thing. Tell people how to fucking find you, man.
Find me on where am I? I'm on not
Yeah, not yet, brother.
Netflix. No. So I'm on Instagram, Lior618, and I'm at on TikTok also Lior618. I don't know why I did it that way. Just like I was like, okay, this is the name.
There's 617 other Liors out there.
No, because actually my first address was 6186. My first one address in Montreal.
So why did you take the 6 out?
Don't forget. I don't know. I have no idea.
Fuck? That's so
618. I took the 6 out. I don't know. Because like, don't forget where you came from. And like that will be a good story when you get on, at the Tonight Show.
Why the 618, Lior? Well, that's actually it's funny that you asked that.
But yeah, the Jew in me comes out like, listen, there's a. You want the long version or the short version? Which one? Right? So yeah, Lior618 on Instagram and on TikTok, and I got a podcast called Hasid-ish. It's a Jewish podcast. I don't know if you guys want to check it out.
That's everywhere, I'm assuming.
It's on Spotify and on Apple. I don't know. That was the easiest to get it on. So
and that's where people listen to it. And so as always, check the description below. All those links will be there for all his social and his podcast. It'll all be down there. And from my end, wherever you're listening, smash that subscribe. As always, follow, leave 5 stars. That shit helps with the algorithm. And if you want to support the podcast, check out patreon.com/theimmigrant section. I've got bonus weekly episodes that come out every Friday. My solo hour episodes, video and audio, plus some behind the scenes stuff. If you fuck with the podcast, you can show your support there. But besides that, just tell one friend about the podcast or share the episode if you like it. Organic growth or nothing else, as I always say. Lior,
that was fun.
Thanks for coming on, brother.
Thank you for having me on.
Until next time, homie.
Next time, baby.
And for the rest of y'all, peace.
Peace.
Yo, and that's the episode. Remember, if you liked it, smash that subscribe button so I can give you updates. Until next time, it's your boy, Abbas Wahab. Easy.